Sunna is almost here, and I'm so excited because we can play her with Seed. In this video, I'm going to tell you all the things that you need to play Seed in Sunna day one, because guess what? You're not going to get it from other creators. I went and looked at their videos, and they don't include the Seed Sunna team, even though I know it's going to work. I respect the hell out of all the work that these guys put in for the community, but at the end of the day, they're too big to cover topics like this. So as your dedicated Seed main and expert, I'm going to give you all the tools that you'll need to know. Sunna is our new S-rank physical support agent from the faction Angels of Delusion, and she's releasing in a couple days here at the beginning of patch 2.6. So Sunna reads as a crazy support agent. She increases the attack for all agents in the squad, and that's going to be the main attraction for her on a Seed team. And providing buffs to the whole squad, she does it in two ways. Through her EX special, she grants Angelic Coordination, and then she also grants Ether Veil Dilution Reprise. And so she also can inflict this thing called Cat's Gaze on enemies, which deals extra damage based off their attribute. This is going to be more geared towards anomaly teams, so I'm not going to talk about that incredibly much. Her additional ability is called Daydreamer's Counterpoint, and this is where I really see the damage racking up. So it says when another character in your squad is an attack agent, Seed, or shares the same faction, any agent who's attacking the enemy who's within that Ether Veil Delusion Reprise will increase the enemy's stun damage multiplier. So Seed's gonna love that because she loves doing big damage in a small time. So I actually think it makes sense to cover her special attacks before her basics, because a lot of her buffs are triggered specifically from her EX specials. And so essentially you're going to want to look for that special meter to reach its threshold. You're going to hit the EX special button, and then your whole team will essentially just gain Angelic Coordination for 40 seconds after that. So once you're in that Angelic Coordination state, you're going to press the EX special button again to activate the special photography technique, or while you're in the Bubblegum Barrage, you can keep holding it to quickly activate it. In doing this, before your heavy attack actually hits, Ether Veil Delusion Reprise is going to be activated team-wide, giving the attack buffs. So now we're going to jump to her core skill actually. I know it seems like we're doing things out of order, but bear with me. I've read each of her skills a bunch of times, and the way they reference each other kind of makes more sense to go over her core skill now. There are a lot of words here, but we're going to break this into chunks to make it really digestible. This first block is just detailing the attack buffs from the Angelic Coordination. Essentially, we just want to max out Sunna's attack stat until she can get that max attack buff. So this block here is why I wanted to cover the core skill before some of her other skills. The other skills reference triggering Cat's Gaze, but they don't exactly tell you how to do it. Essentially, it's just the basic attack, Naughty Cat Spotted, her EX specials, her chain attack, and her ultimate will all trigger the Cat's Gaze for 12 seconds, and when Sunna is on field, the duration of Cat's Gaze is continuously refreshed. And then the last two blurbs of info here are just saying that some normal enemies, when they get hit by the Cat's Gaze, they show reduced aggression towards Sunna, which I think just means that they attack with less frequency. And then the last block of text is especially interesting because it says that when Cat's Gaze is triggered by an attack character, it deals the agent's attribute damage equal to 300% of attack. So now when we read her basic attacks, it makes more sense when we read basic attack, Naughty Cat Spotted. During combat, when Sunna is off field and there are no enemies with Cat's Gaze, Bubblegum consumes one claw sharpener and automatically launches an attack dealing physical damage. So now we know what Cat's Gaze is and exactly the different ways to trigger it. And so the rest of that basic attack text just gives details on claw sharpeners, which is Sunna's unique resource, and gives you different ways to accumulate those. And then finally, her chain and ultimate attacks aren't incredibly interesting in the context of Seed team, but the quick TLDR is that it deals massive AoE physical damage. Sunna will immediately gain 6 claw sharpeners, and then you'll restore HP to the squad. So I'm pretty excited to test Sunna because at first glance, these Mindscapes look actually busted. I'm not going to read everything in detail, but I'm just going to point out the highlights that specifically are for a Seed team. M1 is called Loneliness Corruption Symptoms. And the cool part about this is that we're reducing target's defense, so more defense shred. This is going to have implications on what disc 5 we're actually going to choose for Seed. So I'm going to need to do some testing to verify this, but I'm leaning towards disc 5 for Seed being electric damage or attack percent, just because the pen ratio is going to be diluted by the defense shred that Sunna is providing. M2 is called Feline Go With The Flow, and essentially this reduces the requirements to trigger Cat's Gaze and it increases your damage multipliers. M3 is called Transformation Apple, and it's the standard boosts. M4 is called Delusion Investigation Team, And basically when Sunna uses her ultimate, all squad members deal 18% more damage for a full minute. M5 is called Galaxy Tramway, and that's just another set of standard +2 boosts to your skills. Then finally we have her M6, Hollow Big Bang. This is a lot of personal buffs for Sunna herself, but the most interesting thing here is at the bottom, while in the focused creation state, damage dealt when any squad members trigger Cat's Gaze increases by 50%. So that sounds pretty substantial as long as you can maintain uptime on that focused creation state, which is triggered by using an EX special attack. So yeah, her Mindscape profile seems pretty typical of a lot of agents we see. M1 is a very nice boost. M2, also a very nice boost. M4 is a nice quality of life, but it's really just a stepping stone to get to that M6 where Sunna just starts doing a ton of damage, and damage output of the squad increases a ton too. Last, we're going to run through her Wenjins and then recommended disc stats before we talk about her teams. So reading through the details on her SIG, Thought Bop, it's looking particularly effective for her EX special attacks. It's going to give your team attack buffs. For free-to-play options, you're going to be looking at Kaboom the Cannon or perhaps Unfettered Game Ball. For disc drives, Moonlight Lullaby is going to be her top choice, and we love hearing that as seed mains because we get to farm it alongside Dawn's Bloom. And for 2-piece set, you're either going to want to use Astral Voice if you're having trouble getting enough substats for attack, because you want to make sure that you reach that cap for Sunna's attack, or Energy Regen is going to be the luxury option if you got enough substat rerolls on attack. For the main stats on our discs, you're going to want to get as much attack as possible. So we're going to want to put attack percent on disc 4 and 5, and then disc 6 should be energy regen. Finally, for her recommended teams, they're shown here by Hoyo, but we're going to do our own thing. We're going to pair Seed with Sunna and Ye Xingguang. Ye Xingguang is just the perfect agent right now to pair with Sunna, and so that's why all of the information that you're going to see right now is going to be centered around Sunna, Ye Xingguang, and then another support. I'm going to try to make Sanbi and Orphe work, but we'll see how that goes. In the next upcoming weeks, I'm going to be pumping Seed and Sunna content, so if you liked what you saw here today, it'd mean a lot if you consider dropping a like and subscribe. See ya.